You're in a desert, walking along in the sand, when all of a sudden you look down and see the CEO of United Healthcare. It's crawling toward you. The CEO of United Healthcare lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over. But it can't, not without your help. But you're not helping. I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Families evicted from their homes, bankrupt due to pre-existing conditions. I've denied life-saving and medical treatment to hundreds of thousands of people who then suffered and died for the sake of boosting quarterly profits by 0.0023%. I've successfully lobbied politicians across the political spectrum in order to keep the current system of legalized murder for profit intact. All commie alternatives cast aside like replicant husks. All of those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
And welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that's seen moments in time you people wouldn't believe, lost in time like tears in rain, given brain like it's studied at United Healthcare University. It is 11:49 a.m. KST. Sunday, December 8th, year of our Lord 2024. Here is Joshua, name change, no mutatio, and over there is Tim, I smoke goody, no Proctor, Buckner. How's it going, Tim?
Phenomenal. Always great to be on the only podcast that asks, how do you know when your vibe session has transitioned into a vibe-pression? Josh, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, crawling out of the vibe-pression.
Good.
You know, just rejoicing over young love.
It's important.
There's some big news stories circulating in the atmosphere these days, and I would say none are more important than that of Destiny, also known by names yelled by a totally righteous baller named Norm Finkelstein. Mr. Bonelli, Mr. Bonoricelli, Mr. Bonapartely. So Destiny and...
You know what? That's 2 for 2 for negatives about Norm Finkelstein now. He might be on the unwoke canceled train for being anti-LGBTQ because he's got like some weird issues with trans people, and he's like he's dead naming gay Twitch streamer Destiny. I mean, I don't know.
Mr. Bisexual Nelly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Actually, Norm Finkelstein might be canceled. Canceled.
Mr. BIPOC Ellie, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Yeah, he's doing bisexual
erasure
crimes
and
erasures.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is.
He said, "This is how you can tell. This is the way you can tell that bisexuality does not exist. Hitler did not kill any bisexual people in the Holocaust." And he was against all forms of homosexuality, but he did not find a single bisexual to be executed. So there you go.
Mr. Broccolini, did you know my parents were in Auschwitz? They told me there were no bisexuals there.
Good old Norm Finkelstein.
Norm rocks. I don't care. He can
be
trash
unwoke.
Bisexuals. He's allowed. He is. You know what? I finally got around to or I don't know, whatever. I guess got around to it, but just kind of after the fact, after I'd been watching all these interviews with him, mostly talking about recent Palestine shit. But I went back into the TrueAnon catalog. Man, he's dropping N-bombs like crazy.
Yeah. Hell yes.
And it's so uncomfortable. You can tell little edgelord Brace is oh gee, oh no, oh my. They're I can't remember if they bleep him on something. I don't remember if it's the ends. It must be. It'd be funny if they kept that in and bleeped something else. But anyway, it's all a way of saying that Mr. Destiny Bonicelli supposedly sucked the cock of Fourth Reich enthusiast Nick Fuentes, proud Latinx male presenting person.
Proud fake cell.
Fake cell. I'm pretty sure it's not true, is what the verdict seems to be, but I
refuse to accept it.
I don't really care. I mean, there is a video did leak of Mr. Broccolini, Destiny sucking dick, and he's I think very openly bisexual man, so whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever to all of it. I mean, obviously it would be funny if Nick Fuentes and him were fucking, because they're supposed to be kind of mortal enemies, and all the internet sleuths were he went on Destiny's show, and they're look, they touched hands at this one timestamp,
sure.
And they're getting along and laughing together, and the date lines up with the date of this sex tape or some shit, whatever. But
yeah, that's why I say I'm pretty sure it's real.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, it still could be. I don't know.
I don't understand the people who say it's fake. I mean, the video is real. I think the only fake thing is assuming that it's what's his name.
Well, I think that's all. Well, I mean, that's all I'm saying is that there's no, you
sure.
don't see the face of the other party with Mr. Benelli. But obviously, the funny part would be the hypocrisy of it all, or whatever, is that
sure.
Fuentes is so repressed and so stupid that he's infamously said that men having sex with women is the gayest thing you can do.
He's not wrong.
And that being an incel is the most hetero thing you can
right.
do. And he claims to be I think he claims to be still like involuntary, though, if I'm remembering right.
Right, which is, I mean, obviously bullshit.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyway, so that happened recently. Just thought I'd throw that out there up top before we get to the real stuff or whatever.
This is the real stuff. We are now the Vanguard 2.0. We're doing just internet drama. Did you see the video of Hassan reacting to his debate with his Uncle Jank? Did you watch that? We're going to put that up on the stream. We're going to comment on Hassan commenting on his own debate with his own uncle. That's what the show's about now.
Is this real?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Wait, really?
Yes. All right, so pull it up. Let's start talking about it. No, it is real. I mean, it's real. I don't think we're actually going to talk about it, though.
No, we're not. I mean, we're going to talk about like the idea of it in the abstract because that sounds really dumb.
Hassan had a debate or conversation with his uncle on his stream, and then later he did videos reacting to the debate that he did with his own uncle on his own stream.
See, happened. Right here, I'm about to say this, and he just presses play.
Yeah. I'll check. All right. He says, damn, I had a good point right there.
Man, I'm looking nice.
Yeah.
Check out those shoulders. Yeah. I did not see that, but that's kind of funny. That would be very I wouldn't be surprised if those Vanguard guys are giving their own commentary on the commentary of the commentary. I did like one final little search about Destiny and Fuentes. Something else came up with Nick Fuentes. I didn't really get a chance to verify this, to do my journalistic due diligence.
Do your screw diligence?
So instead, I'm just gonna say Nick Fuentes has been arrested for
being gay.
He's 100% been arrested for gaily spraying a woman in the face with mace.
He got arrested for being a fake cell. That's illegal now. It's against the law to do incel stolen valor.
Right.
He's been taken to jail instantly, and we all agree with it. We all voted for it. We voted for the law that made it illegal to be a fake cell.
Yeah, it's really the only thing on America's plate.
Yeah,
is paying deeply close attention to Nick Fuentes
and how empty his balls are.
So yeah, I don't know if that's real. I'm just literally looking at something on Reddit. Oh, okay. He for sure did this. I'm looking at the video of him doing it, like the POV of the lady.
Yeah, I saw the POV of him getting his dick sucked. He definitely did it. No, what do you say?
This video doesn't even make sense.
Oh, someone just rings the bell and then he sprays him in the face with pepper spray?
Yeah. But then like the camera like goes all wacky and ends up in his house. Is that her phone?
Must be.
It must be, right?
Yeah.
So he stole her phone too.
Yeah.
Damn, that guy's fucked up. Nick Fuentes, everybody.
That's a shitty Halloween treat, you know?
Right.
Just ring the bell.
I mean, there's no additional context given there. I mean, in the video at least. I'm not going to go through all 277 comments on YouTube drama right now, but anyway, that's all the Nick Fuentes / Destiny news you'll ever need for the rest of your life.
Sure, but it's not all that you're going to get. Because obviously these idiots are going to come back up again in a few days. You know.
So I will send up a parting shot on the topic by saying it was pretty funny the way Adam Friedland went on Destiny's stream and just like trolled the shit out of him, basically.
Oh, what did he do? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, he was just like fucking with him, you know.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it's pretty good. And then that sparked like, you know, online shit about, are they going to debate? And I'm like, I hope so. I hope Adam
great.
just keeps fucking with this guy. So yeah, Mr. Benelli, get out of here. Moving on. Unless you got any Any final words on
No, I'm
these
good. I
two
think I got everything.
jackasses?
I think I hit everything I needed to say about this.
One more little warm up
Of course.
bit here that I threw in at the last second. I'm so shocked that I never heard about this event before, which is referred to as Pine 11. Did you see this? Do you have a memory of this happening?
No.
So Fox News, they had like their Christmas tree like out in like, I don't know, wherever their studios are in New York, but someone like lit their 50-foot Fox News Christmas tree on fire. I can't even tell what year this is, but it doesn't look too old. But someone put together like video of like just like clips of like the Fox News people talking about it in the most serious way.
Nice.
With like this, but then they added in like this kind of like super serious like instrumental like piano music or whatever. It's pretty hilarious because they're basically treating it like it's fucking 9/11.
Sure.
I agree with the person who posted this. Shout out Filming Fish Eyes on the TrueAnon subreddit.
Okay.
That that we should bring this up every holiday season from now until the end of time because it's pretty fucking funny.
Right.
It's like Tucker Carlson, all the greats, just like not being able to get over this war on Christmas terrorist attack on their tree.
It's pretty good.
You told us the war on Christmas wasn't real. Well, look at this. It's like a charred husk of a tree.
Wow. Can you believe it?
Look what they did to my beautiful boy.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it pretty great?
Yeah. It's about Jesus and Hanukkah. This bitch just said it's a Christmas tree. It's not about a fucking Hanukkah. Jesus.
Oh, they actually arrested somebody for doing this too.
Free him. Free him.
Someone as a mother and someone who loves this country will not stand.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She said someone who loves the red, white, and blue. Total
Hell yes.
seriousness. What is happening? What's happening to our Christmas trees, folks?
It's not good, folks. We don't like it.
But in a moment of unspeakable tragedy, Fox News rose from the ashes. Don't worry, do not be deterred. We are going to rebuild that tree. Oh shit! She just
it's not even a real tree.
Back better.
It's not even a real tree.
Yeah, yeah. The synthetic tree is probably I don't know, light on fire even better. I don't know.
That's the real war on Christmas is using a fake tree.
I haven't seen a real. I feel like I haven't seen a real Christmas tree indoors since I was like a wee lad. That feels like some like Dickens era like shit that I somehow lived through. Sure.
I liked the end of that video said never forget, like Douglas fir. It's pretty good.
Oh, I didn't even get that. I was like, fucking dumbass typo.
Yeah.
Good post, but what the hell? No, that's great. And Pine 11 has legs for days. Just says on the crawl at the bottom, rebuilding all American Christmas tree.
Yeah. Bring them back.
You don't rebuild a fucking tree. Stop saying
Listen,
that.
if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside. We're talking about Christmas trees, folks.
Anyway, that's for the holiday season, and it's just funny.
Yeah, we're going to continue to wage war on Christmas another year. Everyone join us in our war on Christmas.
I live in South Korea. Some shit went down in South Korea this week. Some pretty big
Or did
shit.
Or did it?
I mean, some big shit attempted to go down, and there's still. Well, I'll just say what it was before.
Of course, folks, we're talking about David Blunt's performing in Korea. Everyone, the memes have been going around. We've all seen it. He was hooked up to that anti-communist oxygen tank. Anyways, continue.
The president declared martial law, just like out of nowhere. What came out after the fact was that like he didn't consult a single soul about this. He just like unilaterally, impulsively did it. Because Mr. Yoon, President Yoon, is a genuine dumb shit. He is a dumb man.
Right.
And like not in the kind of half fake way of like a George W. Bush. actually stupid. I assumed at the time that like his wife just made him do this because he like famously just like is guided by whatever his like extremely high maintenance and kind of controlling wife like tells him to do.
Yeah.
So like, but apparently, just based on what I've heard through like through my girlfriend, through Korean media, etc., she's paying a lot of close attention. Like, seems like he didn't even talk to her, like she didn't even know about it possibly. But anyway, it freaked people out, and like the kind of, I mean, it's a big deal to declare martial law over an entire country, number one. But like the more interesting angle on the whole thing is how quickly basically the entire parliament and then just normal people like mobilized like really quickly and like ran down to like the fucking name is slipping my mind. The building where they do all the congressional shit, the parliamentary shit. I forget what it's called at the moment. Because, yeah, he was like sending in the special forces, like tanks and helicopters to like physically bar people from entering because they have the power to vote and overturn martial law. And so he was going to try to stop them from doing that with military force, but failed hard. So all in all, the whole thing from like announcement to the end lasted like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And it got overturned. I saw footage of like Congress member, and this is like a 65-year-old man or whatever, like scaling walls while he's like live streaming himself, like doing it and like jumping fences and shit to like get into this building, and just regular people like shoving soldiers and stuff like out of the way.
Nice.
Which is just so wild to see. Like, it's just a very, I mean, I'll say like as much as Korea is kind of like a fucked up, you know, in a lot of ways, like just aspires to be America, and it's like a, you know, hyper capitalist hellscape or whatever.
Yeah.
They still do some things way better than we do in the US of A. Like, I can't imagine Americans rallying in that way. And I mean, I guess what, January 6th is like the closest thing to something like that. But like, that was just such a fucking clown show that like didn't do anything, you know?
Right.
But it was cool to see, like, I don't know, like right now there's like protests in Seoul of like 1.5 million, possibly more people like all gathered in the same space. And the time I've lived here, they, you know, the people got a corrupt president thrown out of office and into a fucking prison cell once already. So
yeah,
actually, so like the political party that Yoon belongs to, the PPP, the People's Power Party is, I guess, the English translation.
Yeah.
So Park Geun-hye, she like the first female president of Korea, that's who I was referring to, got thrown in jail. And then the president before her, also from that same party, after he got out of office, was thrown in jail for some, you know, just kind of general corruption, which is really novel to us Americans, where like, I think if you did a survey, you'd probably get like 100% people saying, oh, a president will never be put in prison. I mean, I guess like liberals like still like fantasize that like Trump's going to go to jail somehow. But anyway, my point is just like, as much as there is like corruption and like a terrible system at play in Korea, sometimes a little bit of justice gets handed out. And they actually voted to impeach the president like yesterday, and hit the members of his party just like little bitch ass bitch bait move. They just like, we're gonna walk out, we're not even gonna vote no. Like, they just refuse to like participate. So he's still in office, but I don't think I don't know. I just have a feeling they're gonna figure out a way to get him out.
Right.
So if like they don't, if he doesn't get impeached, like they can circumvent all that and still probably get him thrown in jail. I mean, the shit that the previous president who went to jail for was like, I mean, it was all very bad, and like part of it was like she was like in part responsible for like 300 kids drowning on a ferry just due to like total negligence. That's not even what she went to jail for. So, but like just willy-nilly declaring martial law is really insane.
Right.
And like people are just not having it. Like even like my girlfriend was telling me, like she knows like friends of friends or whatever who are like crazy, super conservative, like, you know, almost kind of like incel guys or whatever. And like, those are the people who basically got this guy elected. He was like president pro incel. Like, I'm going to crack down on these feminists guy. Good. But the funny thing is, he's not an incel himself. He's like a total wife guy. He's just like a
fake cell.
My wife tells me, my Batman villain of a wife. Like, if you look this guy up and see his wife, she comes off like a cartoon villain. Just nice. Like, even just in like images.
He's a fake cell, just like Nick Fuentes. He's probably also getting sucked off by Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny, weird. He was just in Korea right before he declared martial law.
Yeah. Shocking.
Destiny,
and you can see this video of them touching hands.
Yeah. They were sharing a bottle of soju, and they both reached for it at the same time. And then they had a kind of a Lady and the Tramp moment, and the rest is history. When Destiny came up for air, he was like, you know what would be based, dude?
Yeah.
Declaring martial law. I'm the omni-liberal. Fucking Destiny. Damn it. We're talking about Destiny again.
Is that, he calls himself the omni-liberal? What the fuck
That's
is that?
His fucking Twitter handle, man. It sucks so much.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I hate him so much. He's the worst. He's just, he's like Mr. Facts and Logic guy, which means that like sometimes he makes points that are actually like sane and reasonable, but then he'll also like try to debate like scholars who've been studying Israel-Palestine issues their entire life because he has like a Wikipedia printed out. He's like, I'm just as smart as you.
It's the Jordan Peterson style of debate.
Actually, there is no genocide. Refer to Wikipedia entry number 6.
No, it has to be from the genocide region of wherever.
Just like Champagne.
Yeah. Technically, this does not count as genocide, sir.
This is not bourbon. It was not bottled in Kentucky. I guess maybe a final point on the martial law thing. Like a part of the reason that, like, aside from the fact that just like the martial law thing on its face is pretty insane, because I mean this is not just like, oh, there's like tanks in the streets. It means like democracy has been overturned. Like,
yeah, I think people don't understand what martial law means, or you know what I mean, like they kind of have like a vague concept of it.
And it means that like the military now runs the Congress and like everything, and by military we mean the president who's commanding the military.
Yeah, but like a facts, boots on the ground situation, it doesn't denote anything has like happened yet, technically. It just means that like anything that could or will happen is going to be done that way. It's going to be extra, what do they call it? Extra democratically, like decisions and what's going to happen is going to be done through military decree rather than democratically. It doesn't mean like that there's barbed wire fences up and the military is forcing you to eat gruel or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. My kind of personal theory on some of this is that
we already said it. Destiny was just there. He sucked him off. He told him to do it. It would be based. That's the theory.
Yeah. I mean, that's just common sense. But like,
it's just good hard facts and logic.
I feel like the special forces even sided with the general populace on this one, because like, but I don't know, because like the people really did like rush there. They basically got there before the military got there, like normal people.
Yeah.
And this was like at like 11 p.m. or whatever, midnight. And yeah, I mean, it's just cool to see. I don't know, people.
We do love to see it, folks.
People, I don't know, taking their lives into their own hands or whatever. And but I was gonna say, this also like strikes a chord for people, at least people, especially people that were old enough to remember 1980, the last time martial law was declared in Korea. I mean, it was declared across the country, but
yeah.
There was a pretty infamous massacre that happened. It's either called the Gwangju Massacre, or as Wikipedia puts it here, the Gwangju Uprising. And it was basically just like, it was like college students like waving signs that said like, we want democracy, please.
Yeah.
Because there had been like a coup d'etat right before that. And they were already like under military dictatorship. But yeah, they like arrested everybody. They shut down all the universities, just banned like all political activity, and then killed a bunch of people. killed at least 165 people, and I think that's a low count, like wounded 4,000 or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's like movies about it and stuff. It's fucked up. But so like that was definitely like on people's minds when this whole thing went down. So just throwing that out there. And I guess I should say the bullshit excuse that President Yoon gave for all of this was the opposition party, like the main opposition, because it's not truly a two-party system in Korea. Sure. There's, I don't know, 4 or 5 major players, but like kind of the main opposition. He was just making like wild, baseless claims of like they're North Korean spies, or like they're sympathetic to North Korea, they're communists, and then like also he didn't say anything for like several days after this all went down. He like no appearances from the president. He just like disappeared. But he did like just come out the other day and, you know, made a very insincere apology, but then just immediately pivoted to like bitching and like stamping his feet like a little brat, basically, and being like essentially like, why are you guys so mad at me? What did I was trying to help the country. And it's like, no, dude, you were about to go down for all the fucking corrupt shit you've been doing for years, you and your wife. Motherfucker! My girlfriend just screamed motherfucker from the other room because she could hear what I'm talking about.
Of course.
Yeah. So.
Do you say I'm just a little guy?
He's cooked, I think.
But has he tried saying he's just a little guy? I'm just a little guy. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just a little guy.
I don't think anything's going to work for him. Like I said, cooked.
All right.
People already really hated him. Like,
sure.
I think even the people in his own party hate him, but they're like still nominally supporting him by not like actively impeaching him. But that's just pure like self ass covering, whatever. But anyway, I lived under martial law for 6 hours.
Nice. How'd that go?
I was fine. I was asleep for it was basically like, oh shit, this is happening. And I was like talking to my girlfriend on the phone.
What?
And then I like went to sleep, woke up, martial law was over.
Yeah. You know that Destiny, he was like, we talked about Destiny was there and they said, you're under martial law. And he said, who's Marshall? You know, he's used to being under guys. Anyways.
I just picture him like searching like sex position Wikipedia for like, what's that one? I don't know that one.
Trying to get martial law, yeah.
Put me under martial law, baby. Speaking of sex creeps and who film themselves.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Hunter Biden, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he's not a sex creep. He's just he's a nice.
Yeah, sure. I can't even go along with
He didn't even need to be pardoned because he was innocent.
I mean, the shit he was pardoned for technically is like pretty dumb, and I don't really care about it at all. It's like he lied on a form to get a gun.
Right.
But the thing about that is that normally someone of like his stature, you know, of course would not be charged for something like that. That would get, you know, whatever, swept under the rug easily. But what I've heard sort of anecdotally, I don't even know if this is really true, but I don't know. I just kind of buy it as like common sense, but like that, those kind of technical like little laws get used against poor people all the time.
Right.
So that's kind of why I say, fuck you, Hunter Biden.
Sure.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, yes, number one, it's like it's obvious lawfare, like you said, and little stupid things like this get used against poor people, blah, 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 whatever. The thing that I heard, it didn't cross my mind until I heard someone mention it, and it was like, oh, shit, is that this might have been a particularly bad move and a Biden boner, if you will, because the time period within that he gave this pardon for would fall under like all the Burisma shit.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway for me from this whole thing, yeah.
So technically he pardoned Hunter for all that stuff, which then means that if they did indict Hunter Biden now, he does not have the right to the Fifth Amendment because he can't incriminate himself because he's been pardoned of any crimes. So they could compel him to like give a testimony on any of that shit, and he could incriminate his father or anybody in the Biden crime family. And he could not
Uncle
plead the
Jim.
Fifth Amendment. Yeah, he can't plead the Fifth Amendment on any of that stuff now.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, because
I did not
the
get
Fifth
that
Amendment
angle.
protects you from self-incrimination, but if you can't be incriminated because you have immunity from being pardoned, then you don't have that right.
Oh, weird. That's crazy.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
there is
fingers
that.
crossed. Fuck the Biden family. I hope they all redacted.
Because that's who's the one that Trump is trying to appoint to Secretary of or whatever. Not I was gonna say Secretary of Defense. No, but the Attorney General, right? But that was going to be Gatz, and now it's
the Jesus.
Bambi Blank.
the bleach blonde sorority Florida gal Pam.
Yeah, it
Bondi.
was Pam Bondi. Yeah.
Pamela Joe Bondi. I think.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's it.
So
she's wild, man. She's like kind of more problematic or whatever. Like could be more fucked up than even like a Matt Gaetz is what I'm gathering a little bit about her, but I guess I couldn't tell you more specific than that. It's just kind of something I heard through the grapevine or whatever. I absorbed through internet osmosis. That's interesting though about the Fifth Amendment thing. I did not hear that angle anywhere. And Trump still like he was like pushing for like investigations into Hunter and Joe in their what seems, at least from certain angles, like obvious fucking wheeling and dealing and graft and shit going on in Ukraine.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like even I saw like a clip of like Jon Stewart talking about this, and even he was like, I'm surprised. Like maybe they did. Like I wonder if like shit libs, our favorite word, were like, fucking Jon Stewart's a tanky now, because he was like criticizing the whole thing, even though he was like, well, anyway, one of the things he said was like 11 years is a very specific span of time that they've chosen to pardon Hunter Biden for like any crimes he may have done or might be accused of in the future. It's some article I found said like this is like the most sweeping like pardon like in I don't know, at least like I don't know, modern day memory or something. And it is because usually pardons are like are really specific to like, you know, crimes that you were convicted of, not like, oh well, if somebody finds some shit later from December 1st 2024 back to they have like a specific date in 2014, and 2014 being the year of the Euromaidan US-backed coup in Ukraine, and also the year that I believe was the same year that Hunter Biden started working for Burisma, like the most obvious, what do you call it, pay to play type shit.
Yeah.
He's getting like 50 to 80 grand a month to do nothing, to quote unquote be a board member of this
pretty good
this company. And then I ended up like finding a bunch of shit. I'm not gonna like go super into it, but like I'm like almost slightly surprised that this only gets called a conspiracy theory, but I think it's just because like Trump promotes it. But it's like, okay, but just because Trump is pushing for this doesn't necessarily mean it's not true.
Right.
Basically the idea was like Joe Biden is on camera talking about this, where he's like bragging about it. He's like, yeah, there's this like prosecutor in Ukraine that I wanted him fired, like, and they didn't fire him, and I was over there in Ukraine about to you know, seal the deal on giving them $1 billion, just giving Ukraine $1 billion, and they're about to do like this whole like public thing with it. And Biden was like, I refuse to go out on that stage until they fired that guy.
Yeah.
And like the crowd he's talking to, it's like the fucking whatever, like fucking foreign relations, whatever fucking bullshit. What do you call those? Think tanks. Anyway, like I hate how like they're just like laughing at all his like non-jokes and shit during this. He's like, I said, son of a bitch, and they're all like, oh, Joe, you little gaff man.
Gaff man Joe.
It's like he's just like openly talking about like hanging this money over the heads of these people until they do what he wants, until they make like a politically motivated firing of an attorney.
And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place
but like
someone
the fucking
who was
the
solid
kind of like Russia Gate contingent libs are like, this is all crazy baseless conspiracy nonsense that Trump cooked up. And it's like, this is way before Trump even was like on the scene. But anyway, fuck Joe Biden. Fuck this shit. I mean, the other thing is he went on and on unnecessarily. Like he brought it up. Like it's not even like he was answering questions every time. He would he would just be like, and I'm not going to pardon my son because law and rules and the Bible are all important.
You need to respect the baby because life is precious and God and the Bible.
Yeah, there's. I'll maybe insert it here after the fact, but this is a pretty good like video, like whatever mashups of like is all these politicians going, no one is above the law, no one is above the law, no one is above the law for like 5 minutes, and then it's like,
no one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
watching all these same people like have to try to like rationalize why Biden ended up pardoning Hunter at the, like kind of the last second. They're like, well, things changed. What? What changed? Nothing changed. Of course. And of course he did. Of course he fucking lied again. One of the funny like kind of like little dances I saw some like morning chat show person saying, they said, well, Joe Biden's already lost 2 children. He doesn't need to lose a 3rd. Like, what? That doesn't justify this. And also, did he lose 2 children?
Yeah.
I don't know why she said he did.
Yeah. His first family like died in some kind of accident.
Oh, I didn't know. I knew like his wife died. I didn't know.
First wife and 2 kids. Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were talking about Beau Biden.
No, less
so that would be
too.
3.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the man has suffered, and that's how we know he's a good man, as people always like to bring up.
Or maybe only one daughter died with his wife.
I think that must be the case, unless this lady just didn't know what she was talking about. But
for some reason, I always thought it was 2.
And then, did you see Whoopi Goldberg and Charlemagne the God arguing about this on The View?
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, watching even like 10 seconds of The View gives me like 7 new fucking ulcers. It's just so hard to watch. But I watched like, a few seconds of it basically. And
nice.
They kind of go at it. And obviously, Charlemagne the God was making sane points. But I forget even how fucking stupid ass Whoopi Goldberg tried to spin it. It's just kind of like, I do now I remember. She was basically like, well, you know, because the people on the other side don't play by the rules, and why should the Democrats have to be the only ones who play by the rules or whatever, like do the right thing? Like, do you hear yourself saying this shit out loud on TV? You're so goddamn stupid.
I think all of the criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, nobody's above the law, I respect, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie to begin with.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed.
You really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a sudden?
No, I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over. Because at some point you get to the place where you just go, so I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground. They don't have to do that.
I'm a Democrat. Tell me what the moral high ground is.
The moral high ground is nobody's above the law. I respect what the jurors are saying. He don't have to do that.
So we're mad at him because he changed his...
Oh, no. I'm not mad at him.
I don't know what much more to say about Biden pardoning. I mean, I guess I thought about how someone posted a video of like Joe Biden's like one of his famous fucking screaming, ranting, and ravings on the floor of the Senate back in the 90s, like in the crime bill era, where he's holding up a quarter to show the size of the amount of crack that would get you thrown in jail for 5 years, no matter what. Mandatory 5-year minimum sentence. And someone put that on a split screen with all the self-made videos of Hunter Biden smoking crack, weighing crack out on a scale, lining up crack rocks on his dick with M&Ms or whatever. He might have done that too. I don't know.
You can see in some of those videos and pictures in the background that Destiny was there giving Hunter a weed slut 4. Everyone knows weed slut 420 Destiny.
Destiny's just become this kind of like Where's Waldo figure of this episode. I love it.
Anywhere there's a dick, he shows up to suck it.
He just wanders into frame in our theaters of the mind. So yeah, I mean, yes, it's very obvious hypocrisy there, but it's like, it's worth just saying, throwing out into the universe. I wonder if Joe Biden's going to pardon any of the fucking people whose lives he absolutely decimated with his crime bill bullshit. I'm going to guess no. It will be kind of interesting to see who else he pardons and doesn't pardon, though, I guess, as well. There are like many like political prisoners in U.S. prisons at the moment, and I'm sure none of them will get the empathy, the deep well of empathy of Joseph Robinette, R-word ass Biden. And that's too bad.
You seeing this Assad is dead stuff going around?
No.
It's breaking news, kind of. I can't find anything that confirms it, but shit is popping off as we speak. Nothing ever happens, bros, in the mud.
I'm not seeing anything about him being dead.
A lot of people are just kind of assuming.
It says he's fled Damascus to an unknown destination. I mean, he disappeared at the beginning of this latest wave of insanity happening in Syria.
Right.
But then he came back. Here's my take on Syria. Assad, he sucks. He's no good. He does bad stuff. But that doesn't mean that it's cool to cheer on fucking ISIS and Al-Qaeda funded by the U.S. and Israel.
Sure.
Which is what so many libtards are fucking doing and it will continue to do.
We can all agree that murder is wrong, no matter if it's Assad or not. You could be just a common everyday CEO of an evil healthcare company, or you could be, a terrible leader of a country that's doing its own kind semi-genocide. And it's not good.
Segway King.
Yeah, it's not good to kill these people, no matter how much of a Chad you are.
Yes, murder is always wrong, and
how have you felt about that? Because that's the big thing to me. The takeaway that I've noticed, it felt like it was a coordinated alternative media talking point. You know how they bitch and moan about that the fucking right wing all get on the same page and they have the clear talking points. This was one of the times where I was like, oh, they really are trying to learn these lessons. You could say what you want about TYT and their right wing pivot. The left side are trying to be more like the right. If just in a, maybe not the politics, at least, but, in the communication. Because every fucking left, lib, fucking alternative media, what they said was, well, we don't celebrate whatever. Yes, they condemn it, but they said, they were doing that. But doesn't it speak to society that this was the reaction?
That's been the widespread.
It doesn't say something that, and I'm not saying, but then it speaks to how bad the system is that everyone was clapping and cheering. That's been the talking point. Is
they're so full of shit. These people are so full of shit too. I have a Newsweek article about it, and the very first sentence is violence is always wrong or whatever, and then it's and then it goes on to pretty soberly add up all the crimes of the healthcare and health insurance industry and whatever, and it's so. But also, nobody believes that violence is always wrong. Nobody really believes that.
We wouldn't have a military if we believed that.
Yeah, I mean, I tried that the guy just referenced. I tried looking into his other shit, and unfortunately, he's mostly a finance type journalist or something. But I wanted to just find him full on supporting the Israeli genocide.
Sure.
And violence is always wrong. Israel has a right to defend itself in the other breath, and I'm sure a lot of the people saying this are guilty of that. But anyway, so contra to those people, the copay killer, as at least that's what I've seen him. I don't know if it's just being referred to that way in the TrueAnon subreddit, because I don't think I've seen it outside.
Yeah, I haven't seen that anywhere else, but I do like it. I'm
gonna keep saying it, and I can't remember. I have written here copay killer, CPK, California Pizza Kitchen.
That's pretty good.
Or copay assassin.
I like CPK.
CPK sounds better as an
acronym.
Acronym, that's the word.
Actually, I'm sorry, but again, I'm going to have to hit the Hotep corner. I believe you want to refer to that as a blackronym, and the white man stole it, and they started calling it an acronym because black men originally invented it. Anyways, continue.
Ain't no blackronyms from Akron, Ohio.
Exactly.
I got lost in what I was saying. 3 cheers for the CPK.
Yes.
This guy rules. And
welcome to you're welcome anytime on the podcast. You can be the third co-host if you're interested.
Please. Third mic is all warmed up for you over here, Mr. CPK.
We'll call you the CPK. We don't need to, do anything. We can use Telegram or something to protect your anonymity, but yeah. You're welcome anytime.
Man, that would be a real boon for the podcast.
Imagine the CPK, the copay killer. Imagine he does a fucking a meme coin rug pull like Hawk Tua girl.
So
that's the next step.
Someone was joking about that. They're like, he should fucking hook up with a Hawk Tua girl and just be the second mic on her podcast. Yeah. They'd be a total power couple. I mean, I don't know. By now, I'm sure anyone listening to this has heard what happened. CEO of United Healthcare was gunned down in the street like a dog.
Yeah. Execution style. They didn't say that. I guess he didn't do it execution style. He should have, though.
I mean, he did. I mean, he did shoot him in the back of the head.
Okay, then he did do it. It was execution style.
He was walking away from him, and I don't know. I saw a lot of details about people were like analyzing like frame by frame like how he like handled his gun, and they're trying to like to see like, is he an amateur or is he like an operator? Does he really know what he's doing? Because I guess he did something kind of like odd, like in the way he fired the multiple rounds. But
sure, yeah. And there was another
guns,
video.
but...
I was breaking it down frame by frame to decide to say if someone was an amateur or professional. And you know what that video was? Destiny.
Mr. Bonelli, what are you
Yes.
doing down there?
And I will tell you, he was a pro. It was not his first rodeo. He knew how to handle a man's penis.
Double barrel.
Yes. He knows how to handle a man's penis until it ejaculates, folks. He is good at what he does, and that is making men orgasm.
Indeed. But yeah, people are using words like folk hero, and I guess
12-inch player, people are calling it.
Maybe like the big story about this, like aside from the actual like killing itself and whatever, like getting people talking about fucking health insurance in like the mainstream news again for like, I don't know, it stopped for like 5 years. I mean, did we ever even really talk about like, I mean, of course, like regular people, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like in the discourse, whatever, like in the New York Times, etc. But aside from all that, like the Korean people, united in their hatred of being put under martial law by a baby-brained dumb guy. I'm trying to rein in how many R words I use per episode.
Sure. We don't want to say the forced or surprise sexy time word. Is that the one you're talking about? You don't use that word?
What?
The R word that you're not supposed to say on TikTok? Anyways, continuing on.
Is it the one I'm thinking of, or is there another one?
No, the joke was you're not supposed to say rape on TikTok. So people call it surprise sex.
Oh. Okay. When you said surprise sexy time, I was thinking like that president of Italy's like
bunga bunga?
Bunga bunga parties or something like that. Okay, got it. Yeah. Sorry, I had to make you break down your joke there, but
no,
that's what's fun about
piece by piece.
Yucking it up is breaking it down as well. I mean, the thing I was going to say is just that, like, yeah, as the South Korean people were, united in a way, America seems to be somewhat, in a delicate, balanced way, united on celebrating the murder of this part of the problem, we'll call him.
Yeah. But go ahead. Speak to the Jessica Simpson report, the Trump voter report, the man on the street, my coworkers, I've talked about it before and how I listened to some of their conversations and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But like, they speak to the hidden American that's like the reason why Trump got elected, right? We talk about when they were talking about the shooter of the CEO guy, they were like saying, did you see the picture of his smile? He looked twisted. He looked like he was deranged. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even though all of us on Twitter, everyone online is like, this is great. We love this guy. Like the hoi polloi, the silent majority when it comes to the internet, but the actual mainstream people might not have the same feeling that we do. That's why it's even funnier to point out the lib media talking about like, isn't it interesting that our society feels this way? And it's like, you're in the echo chamber too, because I don't think that we do. I think that, like I said, the reason why Trump got fucking elected, the real people in America, like, think that this guy is they think he's like the dang Joker. They don't think he's a hero. They think he's a bad dude. And they probably aren't like pro murdering the CEO, even though like he's obviously an unrepentant piece of shit.
The consensus.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, some of the, if you want to, let's get scientific with it. There was like a Facebook post or whatever, and it showed like the tally of all the different reactions. You see that one?
Yes. Yeah.
And it was like overwhelmingly people, not just thumbs upping, but like doing the like cackling
laugh
emoji. Like overwhelmingly. And Facebook, as people like to point out, is kind of dominated by boomers, which is interesting. But
right. I think it's still internet people, though. You know what I mean? Even if it's older, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not really saying that like all 330 million Americans have risen up together to say fuck this guy, but there's kind of more. It feels like more public celebration online, and yeah, it's all online, I guess, but like than you might expect. I don't know. In any case, breaking news on CPK, the Kopay killer.
Yeah.
A backpack resembling the one worn by the suspect has been recovered near a playground in Central Park, according to media reports. MSNBC said on Saturday that police examining the bag and its contents found a jacket and Monopoly money, but no firearm.
Okay.
And this was posted on the old TrueAnon sub with just the Kopay killer's backpack was full of Monopoly money, laughing my fucking ass off.
Yeah, this guy does rule.
I mean, I can speak to the fact that that the old trusty echo chamber of the TrueAnon subreddit has been blowing up with like nothing but this guy for the last couple days. Yeah. That picture of him smiling too. If that's even they've released like 3 pictures.
Twisted.
They all look like different people. But
yeah.
Whatever. Who knows?
The smiling picture is funny too because it's like the lady at the hostel saying that they were flirting. So it's like being like, oh, he looks twisted and whatever. It's like he's trying to rizz someone up. He's not. I don't understand. Like he's not. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to see it that way.
I couldn't stop seeing that picture as Dave Franco.
Oh my God, I was trying to remember who it was, and my first thought was I was thinking Justin Trudeau, but you're right.
He looks like Dave Franco.
Dave Franco, yeah. I was like, he looks like someone so much.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm looking at a picture right now that's got the grinning photo.
Yeah,
and it's done up in the Shepard Fairey Obama Hope poster style.
That's pretty good.
Just says hope.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dave Franco's another one of the, this happens every now and then. I'm trying to think of another example, but it does where it's like the younger brother who's not as famous, but then ends up outlasting the other brother who flames out from, I guess like the Phoenix, like Joaquin Phoenix and his brother, River Phoenix, I guess would be, but that's like he died, but.
Yeah, that was a little different.
Casey Affleck and Ben Affleck.
James Franco getting mostly canceled for fucking 17-year-olds or whatever.
Sure.
Same as River Phoenix dying of a drug overdose.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's pretty fully canceled like at this point, but.
Yeah, I don't know why I hedged it that way.
I feel you.
I couldn't remember. Like, is he like still getting it? I think maybe he's getting into little movies, but I guess that's still
sure. Yeah. That's I mean, that just falls into that category. The whole like, there's no such thing as cancellation. Really, it's not a real thing. You're always gonna still have work and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as cancellation is real, he is canceled.
Right. Yeah. Like Louis C.K.'s canceled. He's done for. He sold out Madison Square Garden 6 times since then. It's like what? Anyway, it's been a little while since I played kind of half serious Louis defense.
Yeah.
On the pod.
I saw a very funny video. I think it was either TikTok or Instagram, but it was like, we need white men back to talk to the, like, we need, like, the, you know, middle-aged white men back to talk to the Zoomer kids so that they don't, like, all go for the Joe Rogan right side. And it was the guy, he's, like, in the forest. He's like, I'm just fucking working on this shit. I don't care, whatever. He's like, no, we need you. We need you to be, like, a good role model for these kids. So the guy's like, all right, well, I got some demands. And he, like, goes through, and it's like, one of them is like, I want to say retard. I want to be allowed to say it. I want to call things gay. You know, whatever. And the last thing, he's like, all right, I got one last one. And she's like, after all that, you still have one? And he says, all right, well, here it is. Like, I think Louis funny. That's where they cut off the video. It's like, yeah. All men want is we just want Louis C.K. back, you know? What do we have to do?
Yeah. Men would rather get Louis C.K. back than go to therapy.
Right.
So the CPK, real ass dude of the forever times.
Yeah. Until the next one. Hopefully he's not the last. Hopefully he's just the first.
Yeah, like
you feel me?
To be totally serious for half a second, like I really do hope that this like just creates a culture of fear and paranoia within the boardrooms and the fucking corner offices and the fucking pedophile islands where all these fucking ghoulish creatures live. And it apparently it has, like, people are pretty freaked out. And there was one instance apparently of, I don't know if I got this into the notes or not, but I think I can just kind of remember it. Well, one thing that was happening right away is that like all the major health insurance companies' websites just like took down the pages that had any information about the, you know, upper management, whatever, CEOs. And but then there were like, you know, citizen sleuths, like you know, whatever, like screen grabbing or whatever shit like that. But no, there was one health insurance company that I think the story came out like before the shooting, that it was just like, you know, another one of millions of fucked up murderous things that health insurance companies do. But it was like this company will only cover like a limited amount of your anesthesia while you're in surgery.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So it was like, okay, you're having like a 9-hour long brain surgery, and they're like, well, we only covered you for 2 hours of anesthesia, so either you got to ask the surgeons to, you know, take it easy on you for the last 7 hours, right, or it's just going to come straight out of your pocket. It's like, Jesus Christ. How do these people sleep at night?
And I was hearing some like fucking, you know, podcasters like lamenting or just fucking waxing poetic about shit that they don't understand, and like saying how this anesthesia thing and the way that all went viral was connected to like the guild of anesthesiologists, and they're just fat cat doctors in it for the money, and they're fighting for this because they announced this cutting back on that because they're dragging it out and they're getting over fucking charged for this stuff, and it's like all this bullshit. It's like, number one, anesthesiologist is not a particularly high paying career even for a doctor. Number two, the anesthesiologist themselves is not administering a large percentage of the anesthesia. A lot of that is being done by assistants and like paraprofessional, you know, technician level workers. So to like act like, oh, this is all about fucking, you know, sticking it to the big fat cat anesthesiologist, and all of these fucking woke tards on the internet are falling for their special interest argument. It's like, no, like the primary people who are getting paid by the insurance for this are like, again, the companies who make the drugs, which whatever, that's bullshit. And then like the anesthesiology assistants, anesthesiologists as well. But again, like I said, that's not like an incredibly high paying like position. They're acting as if like these are fat cat fucking doctors with the anesthesiologists. It's like they're really not. They're like pretty low on the totem pole is like a specialty that you get like pay wise as a doctor. So it's ridiculous.
Tell me you have no class solidarity without telling me you have no class solidarity.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
That's just like masochistic shit. It's just like punching yourself in the face. Like, oh, the fat cat anesthesiologist.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Are who I should be mad. Someone should fucking shoot them, huh? How do you like that?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. When I heard that, I was like, and I'm just like, because of my job, I know about this stuff. I'm like, you have no fucking clue what you're actually talking about in this. It's just
even if that was 100% true, that doesn't like take anything away from how fucking criminal health insurance is. Which, I mean, feels, I guess it's maybe a little redundant. It's like, do I get to convince anyone who listens to this podcast that the healthcare situation in America is royally fucked? But just as a little reminder, it's like something like 68,000 people die a year, to like specifically directly causally connected to simply not having adequate health insurance. I think it's just not having health insurance, period. So that's not even counting the people that die by getting like fucked around with and fucked over with health insurance, which is like that group of people gets kind of like almost like left out of the conversation sometimes. Like, you know, when Bernard gets up there at the lectern and starts rattling off facts.
Right.
Like, usually missing that one. But anyway, but I was going to say about the anesthesia thing, though, is that apparently, and I wish I could find exactly, but whatever. It's out there. I'm not making this up. Apparently, they changed that policy. They like reversed that policy somehow.
Nice.
And I think they probably didn't really. I think they more just like said they did to like the press. But then they couldn't just be like, oh yeah, we're not going to do that. That's a bad idea. Sorry, that's on us. They're like, because of this killing, people are misunderstanding our policy, so we're going to change it now. It's like, fuck off. And then I think I saw like a community notes thing on that on Twitter that said like, that they only changed the policy in one state out of the 50 in America. It's like in Kentucky, like you can get your full anesthesia covered now for the time being. But yeah, I mean, I'm guessing. And anyway.
And that was just the insurance company kowtowing and falling for the lobbying of the big anesthesia union, big anesthesiologist unions, the threats online, the lobbying to the people. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, big anesthesia is pretty menacing. They'll put you under, man.
Right.
But my point is just that, like, okay, of course this, like, one murder is not going to, like, change anything, in a wide systemic whatever level. But it's still in the plus column because, I don't know, for all the reasons we already said. But, like, I mean, these fucking companies kill people. They're murderers. They're fucking murderers. And the companies are made up of people who make decisions. So this fucking guy who got was a fucking sicko. I don't know. I mean, I don't think this will be the last time we talk about this guy either. So I guess I don't need to like get to every little tidbit that I found. But there was a bunch of interesting shit this week. Maybe NYPD is using AI to do phrenology to find the CEO killer.
Hell
What's
yes.
this about? I forgot.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
NYPD police sources say artificial intelligence is going to play a big role in nailing the ID of the gunman who killed the United Health CEO. His mask, they point out, didn't totally cover his face. Bone structure was showing through the rest of it. Oh man, those cheekbones. Am I right,
no!
ladies?
They're doing fucking fucking soy jack fucking whatever, like skull shaped phrenology shit to him. So like they're getting the incel Reddits on it to find him based on how good his jawline is.
The cops are actually like trying to basically just like use internet sleuths to help them out because they can't. It's that's the other piece to all this. It's been well over 48 hours now, right? I mean, yeah, for sure.
Right.
It has. I think this guy's gotten away with it, but I mean, we'll see. I think the other fucked up thing is that because this is such a big, high profile thing, I can see them just like getting a patsy, like pinning this on some unfortunate person, but I don't know. We'll see. Just to finish the phrenology thing.
Yeah.
Bone structure was showing through the rest of it, and AI will come up with a pretty clear match, they believe. Now catching him is another story. He might have been on a flight to Moscow an hour after the act. It's just like every time, man. Every time. Just Russia did it. Every fucking time. There's nothing to that. That's just shitlib internet people. I heard he went to Moscow. Really? Where'd you hear that? And yeah, the memes have been plentiful about this guy, just like loving sketches, artwork done, like depicting the bullet casings that he, I believe, carved, not just wrote on.
Yeah.
Carved the words. Was it deny?
Dexterity, I believe, was one of the words.
Yeah. The 3Ds.
Right. And one of them was destiny, because he was trying to get his dick sucked. That's right,
I was wondering how he was going to get back in. There he is.
Oh, he's always there. And he's definitely checking out the cheekbones, if you know what I'm saying.
You've always been here, Destiny. It's July 1921. Anyway, whatever. Was it deny, defend, depose? Yes. Which I guess was a reference to a book about health insurance companies being awful.
Yeah, but one of the words on the bullets was different from the title of the book.
It was. I think it was maybe like a synonym, possibly. I forget. I don't have it pulled up right now. I got too many fucking tabs open. And we're gonna skip the last little section here. I think we're good for today. But I just want to maybe see if there's any final thoughts on CPK. And I guess they're not final because, like I said, I have a feeling he'll come up later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I was like saying, like, the discourse, like, stop talking about health insurance, and like this podcast kind of stopped talking about it in a way as well because of that.
Wow.
Since like we're usually commenting on what people are fucking talking about, but like,
I mean, for me, I'm always thinking about healthcare, obviously, right? But yeah, totally.
Right.
It's not.
I mean,
a topic on the podcast as much.
Yeah, and like. And I guess, it's probably partially because it's like everybody knows the situation is fucked up, but
sure.
I think it's worth like bringing it up every now and then, even for like a small time podcast or whatever. I don't know, but like for the wider world out there, it's definitely worth bringing up because it's a fucked up situation, folks. Oh, this one was funny. All right, maybe this will be the last little bit before we sign off. United Healthcare CEO may have hired his own killer.
Oh, I like where this is going. Okay.
Again, I think this is kind of like the killer fled to Moscow. I heard that somewhere. I think this is like kind of based on nothing as well, but it's like some ex-cop was on CNN. Former Maryland State Police Commander suggested the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, say his name, may have orchestrated his own assassination. While talking with CNN, Major Neil Franklin told Dana Bash, fuck Dana Bash, by the way, she's one of the worst people on earth. When confronted with a number of children killed in Gaza, she responded by saying, well, at least the IDF doesn't rape people. That aged like fine milk.
Jesus Christ. Of all of the
15,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli airstrikes, 3/4 of whom are women and children.
And it's horrible, but you don't see Israeli soldiers raping
well, Dana, I
Palestinian
think
women.
we're not...
Fuck. That'd be like saying, like, at least Destiny doesn't suck dicks.
There he is again. Where's Waldo?
Jesus Christ. Wow, that's amazing. That's like their favorite thing. That's like what they do more than killing Palestinian children. Their number one thing is rape. Like,
it's on
Jesus
Israeli
Christ.
TV. There's video footage of it happening that's been played on Israeli television, not U.S. television, but Israeli television.
much like those big fat cat anesthesiologist unions lobby to, like, you know, fight against insurance companies to not pay them or whatever, like the fucking IDF unions rail and lobby against getting in trouble for rape. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's like it just hurts your brain like 7 different ways, because it's like anyway, I didn't mean to go off on this, but when I see her name, it's just I can't. I have to call her out. She sucks. She is a huge fucking Zionist, just like her CNN brethren, Jake Tapper, that fucking piece of shit. Anyway, I mean, what was this guy's reasoning for why he thinks the guy maybe... His whole reasoning was like, he believes the gunman knew too many details about Thompson's moves. It's like, he could have surveilled him. Like, you're an ex-cop? You don't understand how this could have worked? He's like, oh, too clean of a kill. He must have hired him to shoot him on the street.
No.
What? What has that ever happened? Ever? I mean, I guess some people have maybe like hired hitmen on themselves for like if they're suicidal and they want to like for insurance reasons or some shit. I don't know, but it's not likely.
That seems like if you really were going to try to do that, I think like a suicide by cop situation would actually be cleaner than that, because there's still, but then could still be a paper trail.
But then you don't get to be like you don't get to be a martyr in the way that he maybe would think he would be.
True.
And then he's watching from hell, and he's like seeing all these people on Facebook clicking the laugh emoji, and he's like, "Oh no, my plans!"
Fuck. Yeah, he thought he was going to be the martyr that saved the fucking big healthcare industry in America. Everyone was going to come together and say, "You know what? Maybe we've been getting a little bit too hot under the collar when it comes to health insurance companies. They're just, they're just red-blooded Americans like us. You know, they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you and me.
We're not letting them run roughshod over us enough.
Yeah,
give them more latitude." Right before being shot, he screamed out, "Down with big anesthesia!" True martyr.
Right.
Anyway, that's just some dumb cop with a stupid theory. And yeah. So I was gonna say pour one out for the Cope killer, but no, just clink your glasses together, because dude is based and alive as far as anybody knows.
Yeah.
And once again, come on the pod, please, Mr. Killer, sir.
Yeah, if you just want to come in as like just as a guest for the first time before you commit to being full-time co-host, that's fine too.
Yeah. You can just sit there and smile. Then we'll finally turn this thing into a video podcast.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's good for today.
Sure.
I guess teaser for a future date. I did have something planned out about the Falun Gong cult and their latest insanity, but that's too big to get into now, and we should just call it a day.
Too big to get into. You know who would never say that?
Nick Fuentes.
Yes, exactly.
Mr. Bonelli.
Anyways.
I will recommend some shit. I will recommend if you I was gonna say if you listened to this episode. Because if you
just tuned in.
There should be something referencing the great movie Blade Runner. So I recommend Blade Runner, and it seems like one of those movies. It's like everybody knows Blade Runner, but Tim, you just told me you've never seen it. I've never seen it. I came to Blade Runner weirdly late in life as well.
You know, the idea of talking about movies that you've never seen on a podcast does sound interesting to me. There should be a podcast about movies that you've never seen. But yeah, I should check out Blade Runner. You're right.
That's a sly reference. I also recommend the It's a sequel. Yeah, it's a sequel. Blade Runner 2049 is great as well. All 3+ hours of it, or however long that movie is. And then I think I probably recommended this before, but I want to do it again because I think they're great. Breakthrough News, the YouTube channel. They are, proud socialists over there. Rania Khalek has a show on there. She's awesome. Bunch of good people. They have like distinct different shows that they air on there. Rania Khalek's is called Dispatches. They have one called The Socialist Program. This is another show called The Freedom Side, which Rania Khalek is also on. They're kind of loosely affiliated with the PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Oh, I thought that was a pumpkin spice latte party.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm going to think of that now. And they have a great show, which is what inspired me to talk about the Falun Gong, called The China Report, which, as you may guess, talks about issues related to China. So, yeah, Breakthrough News. Also, I would say if you have some spare change, if you can spare any, hook them up because they rely on donations, like a lot of independent media. And I saw on their YouTube page the other day that they're like extremely short of their like goal, their very modest fundraising goal. So yeah, I'm pushing Breakthrough News, folks. It's very good. It's probably one of my favorite news sources. But that's me. That's my Gen Rex.
Yeah.
You got anything?
I'm gonna recommend if you're gonna recommend Breakthrough News, I'm gonna recommend the Joe Rogan of the left, Kyle Kulinski. Have you seen this? Have you seen that he's like been going really hard at Joe Rogan lately? That's like his new gambit. I think he's trying to play.
I think he's been doing that for a while, but maybe he's doing it more so now.
He's really turning it up lately. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see. Like he is very much taking pretty much any shots he can at Joe Rogan. So it's pretty fun. Talking shit about like that he was on the show back when it was good and how excited he was to be on the show back then. Cause like, oh, this was back when Joe would have like interesting, cool people on the show. And I thought it was like exciting to be part of that scene. And then, I wouldn't go now just cause it fucking sucks and he's lame and everyone
yes,
he has on
you
this
would, you
faggot.
fucking liar.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't think he'll get invited back on with the way he's been talking.
No, I mean, if he was invited, he would fucking go.
You think?
I think so.
I don't know. Maybe.
Whatever.
Probably, yeah, probably. But either way.
I was kind of like warming up to that guy because he was like doing a lot of good like stuff with like Palestine. But then when they pivoted to Kamala and Tim Walz, that's all he's just a big Walz dick sucker.
Right.
Which really annoyed me. And I think I haven't tuned into
I still
any
think
of his
Walz
clips
is
for
cool.
a while.
I still think Walz is cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Just how'd that work out is all I'm saying. Like, he was like, it's over. We're going to win this thing. Utopia's dawning. Like, all this shit.
Sure.
But
I mean,
anyway, I'm not trying to undermine your recommendation.
No,
I'm just speaking my piece.
It was a joke recommendation from the beginning. But I think there is something to, like, to say that they pivoted really hard against everything that Tim Walz seemed to be there to represent.
That's
and
true.
Then they lost. You know what I mean? So it is hard to say. I agree with you. How did it work out? But again, they nominated Walz and then they ran away from him. So, anyways, but you did mention the China report. I have a different China report that I want to recommend. The official Grapply cast, they did a special podcast episode talking all about the wrestler China, Joanie Lawler, and her time in Japan. They just had an episode come out all about that, and I'm going to recommend people listen to that because it was very funny to hear about China in Japan. So yeah, that's my general recommendation for the week.
Official Grapply Cast? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So check out those show notes, show description. There's a link to our Discord. Go to that Discord. Join that Discord. Post on that Discord. We're going hard with multiple channels now on there, whatever you call them. Yes, channels.
That's it.
So post your AI monstrosities, your Twitter screenshots, your general whatevers, and yeah, a lot of good Kopay assassin, Kopay killer memes bumping over there right now as well. I don't know why I just said bumping over there. Anyway, what else do I say on this? Yeah, just show notes, YouTube, Twitter, rate, review, subscribe, and so on. Tim, you have another podcast. Tell the good people.
I do. You can find it at violentpeople.co. You can find it at QNTR on Twitter. I think those are the main places to find it. I think you can find it at QNTR on Libsyn or no, Transistor or whatever. Either way. Yeah, definitely check that out. You can follow me on Twitter at ROHDutch. And I can also say that I fucked up on my recommendation. It was not the official Grapply Cast that did the China and Japan. I was actually listening to a podcast that was from 6 years ago that was on the Monumental podcast. But that will be linked in the gimmick either way. And check out the official Grapply Cast anyways, just because that show's also funny. These are wrestling podcasts that are funny, and maybe people who aren't into wrestling could enjoy them as well. We'll see.
Cool. Check those show notes for links to our recommendations as well, on top of all the other things I said. And as healthcare CEOs never say, sorry for killing 68,000 people a year for a few pennies. My bad, dog. Good night, good luck, good morning, Vietnam.
How many people rise and say, my brain's so awfully glad to be here for yet another mindless day. Now I've got all morning to obsessively accrue a small nation of meaningful objects, and they've gotta represent me too. By this afternoon I'll live in debt, and by tomorrow be replaced by children. How many people rise and think, oh good, the stranger's body's still here, our arrangement hasn't changed. Now I've got a lifetime to consider all the ways I grow more disappointing to you as my beauty warps and fades. I suspect you feel the same. When I was young, I dreamt of a passionate obligation to a roommate. Is this the part where I get all I ever wanted? Who said that? Can I get my money back? Just a little bored in the USA. Oh, just a little bored in the USA. Save me, white Jesus, bored in the USA. Oh, they they gave me a useless education, subprime loan, craftsman home, keep my prescriptions filled. Now I can't get off, but I can kind of deal with being born in the USA. Oh, just a little born in the USA. Save me, President Jesus, I'm born in the USA. How did it happen? Born in the USA. Oh,
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?